Okay, hello and welcome to Flyer's second live stream. How you all doing out there? I'm here with Ed and with Dave. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Thanks very much.
Yeah, doing okay, thanks. Yep.
As Ed just pointed out, this is our second live stream and we're all in exactly the same place and none of us have really been anywhere apart from walking the dog and our government-sanctioned walks, I guess.
Yeah.
So let's have a look and see where we are. Before we get anywhere, I just wanted to give everyone a quick update on the latest digital. Good, there are people there. That's good, so they can hear us. Thank you very much. Hi, Martin. Yeah, quick update on the whole digital project, really. So the first digital issue, the July issue, is due out early next week. So you'll get emails about that in your inbox. So keep a lookout for those and on the website. We'll kind of try and make sure that you just can't possibly miss it. For the first 2 or 3 months, we're moving to a new app and way of delivering the magazine, which is called Issue. It gets some really good reviews. It gets some good stuff. But I have to say, it's not our final destination. We're working on, behind the scenes, another project to bring a much, much better way of delivering the content to you if you consume that content on a mobile platform. But that's going to involve some design changes and some other tweaks and bits and pieces, and obviously a little bit of testing as well. So we'll hopefully get that testing right and make sure we can deliver you the best experience. But so the first experience, first 2, maybe 3 months, depending on how smoothly it goes, will be the Issue, which is a far, far superior to what we've been doing so far. But then we'll be moving to an even better mobile mobile app. What am I talking about? It'll be even better, should we say? But you'll still be able to have the old stuff if you're kind of just need to consume it on desktop, or you actually be able to download a PDF if that's what you really want to do. There are some people who want to do that as well. So, Anyway, so how you are, Dave? Over to you, I think.
Well, I was going to ask you what this Issue. How does that work? Is it's kind of a page turner thing, is it?
Yeah, the basic premise of Issue is a page turner PDF. You can richen it up, which we'll be doing with extra features in it, and there's an app that you can get, quite a well-rated app as well, so you can consume it on mobile as well, and it is significantly better than what we've been doing so far digitally, and although that will still be available as well if people really want it, but as I say, we're going to an even better form in 2-3 months time.
You mentioned some design changes. What are they likely to be? And I'll put this to Ed.
I was going to say, Ed.
Well, like Ian said initially, because of the short time scale, the mag will look just like the mag currently looks, especially using Issue. But that's a great page turning experience. Like Ian said, the app works really well. But clearly, we're going to we'll change the design of Flyer to work more seamlessly on tablet and mobile phone. So there will be it'll still be really excellent. We'll still be going for really, really good design, but it'll clearly change a little bit.
So Ian, could you just give us a quick reminder of what we're offering right at the moment?
In terms of the magazine?
In terms of the Flyer Club and the free magazine.
Okay. So basically, we're offering 2 things. This is just a quick recap on last week. So there's anybody who goes onto the website, and I think I've got it right this week. Anybody who goes here and enters their email address will get notification that they'll get a free download of the magazine. That's anybody, won't cost them anything, anywhere in the world, no problem whatsoever. Let me just take that off. There you go. Just in case anyone can't remember who we are, let's put the comments back on there. So if on the other hand you are a member of the club, the Flyer Club, you will get the free magazine, but you will also get an email with your personalized landing fee vouchers. So only people who are members of the club can use the free landing fees. Plus, you'll get benefits to all sorts of other stuff. So you get a free digital copy of the John Farley book, A View from the Hover. Absolutely. I mean, obviously Flyer was involved in the creation of that book, but it is a seriously good book. Very, very well worth a long read and a reread if you haven't read it already. Plus, we've got Simon Keeling lined up to give us early access to his twice-weekly weather forecasts. We're going to have 3 mini exclusive webinars that Simon Keeling's doing, and we've got an exciting. The club now has its own house doctor, so we have a EASA and FAA AME who will be available to provide club members with some confidential early discussions about stuff. I probably shouldn't say too much more because I'll get the exact terms wrong. So, but we'll publicise that as well. So we're just going to build on the club benefits. Really, our aim is to make it's £2.50 a month to be a member of the club. So £7.50 a quarter. Our aim is to make that £2.50 a month a complete, just such a simple choice that everyone goes, why wouldn't I do that? And that's what we're working towards. So there you go. That's it for now. But it's a living thing. It's a bit like that sourdough starter that everyone's now making there at home, and they can. Come on, Dave, have you not got your sourdough starter going?
I've got my ciabatta going.
Yeah, we should have a flyer reader sourdough starter competition. No, let's not go there.
Sure, I feel behind in the breadstakes.
Oh man, am I the only one?
So we've got you've been mentioning about our YouTube channel as well, and you've been doing quite a few interviews. Now that's all right during lockdown, but what's going to happen once lockdown's lifted? Will we do more YouTube videos? How will that work? What do you think, Ed?
Well, for a start, we'll be able to go back outside, which will be nice. So expect to see a bunch more stuff at airfields. Expect to see more flight tests stuff done on video. And yeah, just us getting out and about in the flyer world. Expect to see more of that on video that you can get involved with.
Mm-hmm. It's also ideal for some product tests as well, isn't it? So
perfectly, yeah. Obviously, we like testing stuff. It's a big thing, and we know readers like that. So we'll try and do more of that on video for you too.
Maybe we could do that thing where all of the people on YouTube do, where you have an overhead camera and you have the unboxing. We go, flyer unbox it. No, I didn't.
No, there won't be flyer unboxing.
No. I'm just going to see if I can pop this question on screen for the technology. So this is from Martin. Is there a crossover period where paper and digital will be available? No. Basically, from the July issue, be digital only. So there you go.
So what if I was a subscriber to a paper issue? What happens?
If you're a subscriber to a paper issue, you should have received an email already. If you haven't received the email already, it might be that we have either no email on file for you or an old email on file for you. We are posting out letters, the old-fashioned bits of paper, stamp, that whole thing, to every single subscriber. I think they went out yesterday or possibly this morning. I can't remember. Anyway, they were posting out letters explaining everything to everyone. And we're saying to people, look, we would really appreciate it if you would become founder members of the Flyer Club and enjoy all these benefits. But if that's not for you and you really can't face it for whatever reason, consuming a digital copy, then let us know and we'll obviously refund you for all of our unmailed issues. But we are, obviously we'd like people to remain members of the Flyer Club. Clear of cloud, MPPB. I don't understand that. Sorry. Put on the banana bread. Not quite sure what that means.
Your cat's on your keyboard.
Yeah. Move the cat quickly.
Yeah.
And in terms of other videos, other YouTube stuff, then as soon as we can get out, then I'm going to sort of drag my pale, sorry, backside out into the sunshine and go flying, and we're going to produce all sorts of stuff in live interviews with people on location, flying, testing, whatever, all sorts. Yeah. The world is our, whatever the aviation equivalent of an oyster is.
An out of lockdown oyster.
There you go. The world is our out of lockdown oyster. No clear club. We're not. No unboxings. No, we're not going to do unboxings.
It is worth mentioning.
Someone sends us a jet wrapped in box, then we'll do an unboxing.
It is worth mentioning our competition with SkyDemon, though, isn't it?
Yes.
So, that's a new comp, isn't it?
It's a new competition. We launched it this week in the Flyer newsletter, which comes out on a Tuesday. You can sign up for that on the website. The competition is very simple, really. We can't go flying, but we can plan a flight. You can plan a flight you'd really like to make, hopefully later this summer. And you can do it any way you like. You can do it on SkyDemon or whatever flight planning method you use. You can use paper if you want to use paper. And we just ask you to give as many details as you can about the flight. We want you to produce a line on a map, on a chart, which could also be a magenta line on a device, if you're using SkyDemon, for instance. We want you to produce a plog and also a weight and balance calc, just to show that we're professional flyers. You can, it's all on the website. You can find out details. I mentioned plog and weight and balance. Yes, it's all on the website. You can find the details there, and you enter via the Flyer forum. The link is on the website.
Dave,
So-
I'm gonna volunteer you to check everyone's weight and balance and plug to make sure that they're worthy winners.
Yeah, stepped into that one, didn't I?
It says no 182 weight and balance is if it falls out the door, then it's probably overweight.
If you can close the doors, you're generally okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, SkyDemon just produces a plug automatically, so and I never look at it.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Cash
So-
flying up.
We move on. Ed, can you tell
Actually,
us what's in
just
the
one
next
final thought. Sorry,
Well-
Ed. Sorry, Dave. Didn't mean to interrupt you. Just occurs to me that competition, the SkyDemon competition, which we should all enter for a start, just to kind of set a bit of a trend. It's I should have, it's kind of a bit like the virtual Pooley's Dawn to Dusk thing, isn't it?
Could almost be.
Yes, which
So,
presumably can't take
I mean, I
place.
think
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I don't think that someone going from Gloucester to Kemble with a perfectly produced plug and weight and balance, that would be great, but it's probably not the most inspirational planning flight we could do. So I think people should come up with something a little bit funky.
Think about how much you could do on the longest day, maybe.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've had all
Get
these
planning,
ideas
people.
after the
Get
fact.
entering.
We've had all these ideas after the fact. We should have had them before. Anyway, yes, we do say in
It's
the
not going out live or anything, is it? No one will see it.
we do say in the competition that it will be judged on two criteria: the accuracy of the flight planning, and also whether or not we'd like to fly it. So,
Okay.
yeah, flying from A to B is not going to be enough. It's got to be a good trip.
Okay. Controversial comment then, in that case. I mean, I know that there are some people who absolutely love the whole flight planning and spreading the charts out and drawing lines, and that's absolutely great. And I really, carry on. Frankly, it's so easy just to do it on SkyDemon or something like that. Done. Jump in, flight, go.
I think the key thing is, as long as however you plan it, is just understanding the technology. So if you've got a pencil and a chart, brilliant. If you've got SkyDemon, understand how to use that too.
Yeah.
The voice of reason, Ed.
Okay.
We should also say there is a prize. There is a prize for the one we decide is the winner. The prize is a year's subscription to SkyDemon. And if you've already got a year's subscription, then you'll get another one. And it also comes with a year's subscription to the Flyer Club. So you become a member of the Flyer Club. And if you're already a member of the Flyer Club, then you get another year.
Frankly, I can't think of a better competition. It's the best competition I've heard of today.
Yes.
Certainly in the last half hour.
Yeah.
No, all day for me. Good. Excellent.
Let's
What's
move
next
on.
then? Where are we moving to?
What's in the next issue, Ed?
Words and pictures. So in the next issue, there's a flight test of that aeroplane there, which is the Vashon Ranger. It's an aeroplane we flew while we were in the States recently. It's been out 2 years now, but no one's tested it from a European point of view. And we think it's potentially one of the most exciting trainers that's come out. Oh, and it's gone. Okay. But so that's in the mag. So yeah, it's a bad idea trying to work a mouse behind you. So that's in there. There's a great piece about general aviation's response to COVID-19. A whole bunch of the flights that have been taking place to move PPE and other equipment. The responses by manufacturers with various things. There's a really, really good flying adventure written by one of our readers called Paul Bass, who took his Eurostar to Moldova, of all places. And this is an adventurous adventure. I was telling Ian about it earlier, and Ian said, I'm not even sure I could put my finger on a map for Moldova. So that's a really great read. Also in Top Gear, there's some tips for keeping your mind active with general aviation stuff, using various free apps and other bits of software. So all that plus all the usual flyer goodies in amongst there. So
Excellent. I have to say, I know in last month's thing when I was doing the porter, I called the kind of LSAs a little bit the Tim Nice but dim of the world of aviation, which is clearly a little bit unfair. And I have to say, the Vashon Ranger was absolutely fantastic aircraft, and I look forward to bringing more exciting news about that at some stage in the future. Hopefully, the whole 600 kilo opt-out thing will happen. I think when I interviewed Rachel Gardner Paul from the CA, she said they're due to report on that sometime. Maybe I think it might even be June, which is a little bit late, but clearly there's other things going on. So it would be great if the CA, DFT, BMAA, LAA, and everybody else involved could just kind of work together for the good of everyone. Because if we had I think it would really revitalize and energize the whole general aviation world to have aircraft like that available to us, and simply available to us.
Yeah.
And preferably without anyone along the line going, I know, we've got this set of rigs here. If we take this, I'm sure we can make them better if we just change them a bit. No, stop it. Just do it right in the first place. Oh, man. People can't resist fiddling sometimes, can they?
That's it.
Sorry, I'll get a bit sorry, I'll get back in my box.
Off the soapbox.
I know. There was I just want to put a little question on screen here, because otherwise it will scroll off the screen and I'll never get it back. So a couple of quick questions. Free landings valid until we can really use them? I wish. Basically, they'll be valid for the month of the issue. So the one coming out next week will be valid in July, and hopefully by July we'll be able to use them. And if you got the June issue, then we'll be able to use those as well. Hopefully, so
yeah, and obviously
that works.
Yeah, clearly. Cool. Yeah, clearly there's the May issue and June issue landing fees that were in print. They'll still be valid if airfields are appropriately open. So, but obviously call ahead.
It's perhaps worth mentioning there that France has sort of signalled the way ahead on that. They're lifting the lockdown for recreational flying on the 11th of May. Now they're putting a limit on it. You can only fly 100 kilometres from your home, not from the airfield, from your home. And that fits in with other things that France is doing on the same day. They're sort of lifting the lockdown in stages. Maybe something like similar to that will happen in the UK. You just need to pick one of the airfields that's 100 kilometres, not more than 100 kilometres away.
Who knows?
If your airfield is 50 kilometres to the north of your home, you could then fly 150 kilometres south to get to the 100 kilometres to your home thing.
No. Maths on booth. Yeah.
I wonder if there'd be the. I wonder if France has the equivalent of the flight radar police.
Let's hope not.
Les gendarmes du flight radar.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right. Serious question here, Robert Potter. Will there be room for a new section in the mag for training instruction, things like basic workings of GNS, RNAV procedures, VOR tracking? What's that? SkyDemon use, etc. It would be great for students, but also a good refresher for vets. Ed, and stuff on YouTube would be a win. How about that?
That's ideas like that are all really good, and if we can implement some or all of them, then I'd like to think that we will.
Good. Let's do that.
Yeah.
I'm just reading these things at the moment. I think so. This is an interesting point. I think it'd be fair to voluntarily pay the fee, right? Is that the airfields you're talking about, or to join the Flyer Club, or?
That's a clearer cloud. That's a really good point. It's entirely up to. Certainly, there's we have airfields big and small. Why not go into the cafe and make sure you spend money with them, support them, or even just use the vouchers as your help to decide where you're going, what you do when you get there, how you support that airfield. We're happy if we've given you a steer. So
yeah,
I think for all of us, when we can fly again, I mean, we're all going to have to do whatever we can to try and re-energize the industry. The whole thing's been, clearly there must be Bowsers full of avgas all over the place that frankly, some airfields would have bought that when the price was a lot higher than it is now, and people are going to struggle a bit, and we need to get, we basically need to come together, get some activity going to start getting the whole general aviation thing working again. And there's quite a good thread on them at the moment on the forum about how we can get the training going again. Obviously, that has its own challenges with regards to social distancing in the Cessna 150 cockpit is going to be a bit difficult.
Yeah.
I'm not sure your instructor is going to want to move in with you for a couple of weeks to make sure that you're part of the same household.
Yeah.
But
yeah, but there's a whole bunch of challenges, isn't it? And we get through challenges through trying to help everyone. So help each other.
Yeah.
Good point. Absolutely. News.
Yes, we want to move on to the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, probably the saddest news this week was we heard that Oshkosh, or its full name is EAA AirVenture, Oshkosh has been cancelled. They normally start putting the site together in the first week of May, and that's clearly not possible at the moment because even in the States, which is lifting its restrictions earlier than the rest of us, even then, they simply can't ask people to come and start working on the site. So they're taking the difficult decision to cancel it, even though it's at the end of July. That's had a major impact on the industry, not just in the States, but particularly in the States. It's lots of manufacturers base their whole year around Oshkosh, launching new products and meeting their customers. So it's a major impact for the industry, loss of Oshkosh. The good news, if you're talking about events, is AERO Friedrichshafen, which had to cancel this April. It's confirmed its dates for next year, and they're a bit later than normal. And the reason for that is because they had an internal shift within the organisation. In other words, a date came available. And it means they avoid a clash with Sun and Fun, which has happened for the last few years. And that's good for all of us who try to cover both Sun and Fun and AERO, but particularly good for the industry because sometimes they've had to decide which one they're going to go to. So there's good and bad news there.
Yeah. Ed, I need you to say something while I just reply to someone on here.
My gosh.
Let me give you a full screen.
Oh wow! Thanks for that. That's really helpful.
That's okay.
So which would you prefer to go to, Ed? AERO or Oshkosh?
There's never a need to make a choice, luckily, because they're different times of the year and they perform different functions. AERO is an incredible. Quite a lot of we know a lot of our readers have been to AERO, but if you haven't been to AERO, it's an amazing experience, and it's pretty much all indoor at the fantastic Messe Friedrichshafen, and probably, and even more so than Oshkosh, you will not see such a variety of aviation. It probably is the most diverse array of light aviation that you can see in one spot. Conversely, Oshkosh, an incredible event, the scale of which is just almost impossible to comprehend unless you've been there. Over 500,000 people, over 10,000 aeroplanes, 7 days. It's a huge, just a huge undertaking and a huge thing to be part of. I know people use it a lot, but it is like being part of a giant family for a week, all with the common interest of aviation.
I think if we do another one of these live streams, we're going to have to get someone at the office, someone working from home who would have previously been in the office, to sit on the keyboard and answer the questions. So some of the questions. So what about this Garmin thing then?
Oh, what, the new AERO 760?
Yeah.
So that was announced late last week.
Yeah, last week. Yeah.
And it's bigger screen than the previous AERO 660. Is there a place in your flying world for a portable navigator versus tablet?
It's a good question, isn't it? I mean, because it's kind of like iPad size, isn't it? It's getting on for iPad size.
Yeah, this one's a lot bigger than the previous one.
Yeah.
And the AERO 660 was a popular unit, and I've seen it in a whole bunch of instrument panels. It's a nice bright display, real clear mapping. 760 looks to build on that, the same brilliant Garmin user interface. That makes it easy to use. And this one's got a whole bunch of extra features like their Connext wireless their Bluetooth connectivity and things like that.
Yeah. It can also talk to various bits of Garmin equipment around the aircraft. So which I guess your iPad probably can't.
It depends. Your iPad can if it's got the right software.
Yeah.
If you use, for example, the Garmin Pilot app,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
it talks to it. And I I must admit, in my airplane, which has got the GTN 750 in, I update the databases on that by taking the phone. And the phone, they have a thing called Database Concierge. And you go in and it knows when the database has run out and it says upload. And then you just click that and it creates a little Wi-Fi connection between the phone and the 750 and just uploads the database and then stops. So that's, and you can do things like that with flight plans and everything else like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's actually there's a button on SkyDemon actually, and you can do it with SkyDemon, you can do it with Garmin Pilot, you can do it with ForeFlight. That is in terms of routes.
Okay.
But the 760, I'm guessing, will be completely native and will just play nicely with it without any need to do anything.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to get one, have a look, go flying.
Yeah,
Anyone remember what flying is?
That's it. And it's exciting. There's been a real lack of product news because manufacturers are just sitting tight. So it's nice that Garmin have announced this because it's something you look forward to. And we will have a test. So.
I'm just doing sorry, let me come back. Hang on a second. Okay. So a whole load of questions that rather than me typing it out, it'd be easier if I just give you the video version of it. So the email advising people that there's a new issue ready to download has not gone out yet because right now there isn't a new issue ready to download. There will be next week, but there isn't today. The emails that we were talking about that have gone out were the emails advising subscribers that we were going digital and inviting them to become founder members of the Flyer Club.
Yeah.
So those emails have gone out. There's a part on the website which I put up earlier where you can go and register for your free copy if you don't want to become a member of the Flyer Club. Only £2.50 a month. Well worth it, please. But next week there'll be emails going out to both of those groups of people, the free magazine people and the members, saying that there's a new magazine ready to download. So if you haven't had that yet, you wouldn't have done because it hasn't gone out yet, but it will be next week.
Yeah, and I think the section where you can go and join the Flyer Club if you're not already a member, that's available now.
That's now up and running on the website. It's called under the shop banner, so you can go on there. The only thing to note on there is the region says United Kingdom. That's just a part of the system that we need to change that we haven't managed to change yet. So in terms of region, it's anywhere in the world. £7.50 a quarter, £2.50 a month to become a member of the Flyer Club. And there'll be enhancements to that page coming over the next week or so, as well as the Flyer Club area, which will be available also, hopefully, from next week. Just need the software ducks to get in relatively straight.
Yeah.
Nice. Any more questions?
There's a question here that says, why is the July issue coming out in May?
The joys of magazine publishing.
Who asked that? Yeah.
Unfortunately, due to the unique way that magazines are published, and lots of magazines produce 13 issues a year, not just 12, that we inevitably, at one point in our schedule, end up getting way ahead of ourselves. And if you're the editor of such a magazine, you wonder where the year has gone already. Yeah, imagine, and it's sometimes it would be easier if you just thought of them as magazines 1 through 13.
Yeah, and Neil Gascoigne's pointing out, yes, and there's a summer issue. Yeah, afraid there is.
Yeah.
Wait, it's summer, isn't it?
Yeah, in between July and August.
It's because we do 13 issues a year, so one every 4 weeks. So clearly 12 of them are quite easy to name, but we need a name for the 13th one. So we decided on summer.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, you don't need to compute on shelves anymore. That's true. How about access to back? So Henry Hunter has asked an interesting question. How about access to back catalog digital for Flyer Club members? Yep, absolutely. There will be back access to I think probably almost 10 years worth of copies. It's slightly trickier before that because we used different technology to produce the magazine before that. So we might have to look at a different way of doing that eventually. But certainly over the next few months, we'll be gradually adding that back catalogue up there. So you'll be able to get access to that. And that will be available free of charge to everybody who's a Flyer Club member. Dave White, the Judas issue. No, maybe not.
It's worth perhaps pointing out again that this is the start of our digital journey, which only really started a few weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and so we're learning. We're learning very quickly about what we can do, what we can do better, and what the possibilities are in the future. So,
yeah. So Clear of Cloud asking for a searchable index for back copies. Yeah, we can do that, and we probably will do that at some stage. It's just that it probably won't be next. Well, it definitely won't be next week, but we'll get there.
We do have that in the office somewhere, actually. We have an index of features in the magazine, which we use internally to refer to remind ourselves.
I still don't think it'll be next week, but
it will be next week.
Okay, well. Has anyone got anything else? I think we're coming up to about half an hour here. In fact, half an hour exactly.
Blimey.
I know it goes quickly, doesn't it? We're thinking about doing these regularly and talking about all sorts of rubbish, really. And that's me, not Ed and Dave, clearly. If you think that's a good idea, let us know. If you think it's a bad idea, let us know. I don't know if anyone's got anything else. Any more questions coming up here? Not that I can see so far. If anyone's got a question, serious question, drop me an email. My email is ics@sega.aero. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good
See you soon.